brothers and sisters.
We're all doing an impression of Sean doing an impression of Keenan.
Well, speaking of parenting, I wanted to talk, Marlon, a bit about, just so proud of how you are being a role model for dealing with a child that's transgender.
Absolutely.
And that's, that warms my heart, particularly as a Black man. Would you care to share that journey of?
Well, I learned and their transition really taught me what real unconditional love was.
Yep.
When they went through the transition, I actually went through the transition.
Yep.
I went from denial to complete acceptance. And it took me a week to get there. And what I've learned as a parent is for you to stop loving your child because of their choice in their life, that's a poor reflection on you. You know what I mean? When there's people that go, I'm not going to associate with you because you do that, or this is against God, and this. It's like, listen, I am not here to judge. I am not God. Only God can judge. And I say this, and if that's a mistake and we get to heaven and God don't let my child in, I'm going to shave a beard and sneak him in through the back. But I'm going to love my baby. And I'm a father. And I'm always going to defend them. I'm always going to protect them. I'm always going to respect them. And there's nothing anybody could ever tell me. I could lose fans, good. I lost people that are small-minded, small-hearted, and self-loathing. So goodbye. And I gained, for every one I lose, I gain 150 more.
So for me as the uncle, it's, I love you, period, right? But somebody got to write a rule book and how I need to treat you. Because I don't know, hey, buddy, do I shake your hand? Can I put you in a headlock? Can I treat you like my like I treat my other nephews? I don't know, and I don't want you to ever feel that I'm judging you.
That's right, because you just don't know. I used to say it's like going to your grandmother and expecting them to learn a new language overnight. It's like they've been speaking this language, using pronouns in this way for their entire life. And to get it wrong, and it's a mutual patience with the process.
And they've been very patient with me and their mother, because when they changed their name, I'm like, I called you a Mai for 23 years. What you mean? Kai. Kai. I know you as a Mai. What do you mean them? I know you as her. And it was a process. And at the end of the day, it's respect. That's what they want, and that's their wishes. So respect their wishes. And I know that the same child is in there. They're brilliant, right? And that's all I really care about is they're kind-hearted, they're really funny, have a great sense of humor, and extremely intelligent. And, those are the things I'm proud of. Are you a good person? I don't care about your sexualities and, all these other things, your genders or associations. I care that you are a good-hearted person, that you take care of your siblings, your mother, you're respectful. They have been wonderful their whole lives. I never had any problem with them at all. So,
I was about to completely go off on Marlon. I was under the context that when they kept saying child, the child was actually a child, meaning under 18. But at 23 years old, that person can make as much of an adult decision as what they want to. And I agree, just because someone decides to do something within their life that you may not agree with does not mean that you have to then ostracize them from your life. But one must question the alarming rate of those involved in Hollywood, or as I like to say, Hollyweird, that have kids involved in LGBTQA. My assumption is, in much respect to the Wayans family, is that they don't rock with this type of behavior, but if they're involved in this industry, how much influence could have come of those that his child went to school with, was influenced by, where it was normalized. And depending upon the crowds, it's more than normalized. It's actually trending. Because when you watch Marlon speak about this, you can see the pain in his eyes. And I wonder how much of himself that he blames for his child's inevitable decision. Anyway, let's get back into the content.
Problem with them at all. So,
and I like to be putting that out there for the world. I mean, because, we just, especially in our community, we've sacrificed a lot over this issue. And it's all about realizing that we got to love people how they come to us, period. Not just our kids, but all kids.
Does that say man on her shirt right there? Am I tripping?
And the notion that, we would, put people in unfair advantages, put their lives at risk over some nonsense.
Because those are bad people. End of the day, when you are being divisive like that, you are a bad person. Your core is bad. You, no matter what you do, you're not going to make your way in heaven. My job is to be here to give laughter and to give love, and everything that got to be my intention, and will always be. And that, like I said, I'm a father. That's my baby, and I fight with them to the end. Period.
I don't agree with him at all within this point right here. Reinforcing transgender identity without some serious thought or some serious acknowledgement to those that want to detransition later off in life, or without serious criticism into parents allowing an environment for their children to be able to do so, I think that is evil. Someone wanting to do something should be presented with both sides of the coins. If you want to change genders, you should absolutely hear the other side of the coin. Shit, if you want to get married, bump all this LGBTQ. If you want to get married, you got to also hear from divorced people as well. Especially at a 50% divorce rate, you need to hear both sides of the coin. It does not make you evil if you challenge people's thoughts, especially if it has lifelong consequences.
When I first detransitioned, I didn't think that I had like the rest of my life to live.
Aww.
I was like passively suicidal. The trans community, I went from like being held in the highest regard, being celebrated for surgery and for passing as the opposite sex, and then just losing that all, being told that I was a traitor. It made me think like, if I'm being treated this way just for talking about the things that happened to me, something tells me that I should continue to do so. That was actually one of the things that pushed me into starting to speak out publicly. And the hatred kind of propelled me forward. But I figured that maybe if I keep going, there's going to be a light at the end of the tunnel.
Making a decision based off of what is socially acceptable amongst your friend group or what is currently trending may be one of the most damaging choices that you ever make within your life. So there has to be pushback, because if you left it up to Hollyweird or mainstream media, they will continue to push these odd behaviors and throw it in your face as if it's normal. It's not normal. If it was, it would happen the majority of the time. But if it did, we'd have a declining population.
I love that.
You guys should, that's just absolutely wonderful. And your parents did such a great job with you. I sound like an old man.
I know,
right?
But this is how people talk to us. It's like,
it's just, it's just, you love to hear when people tell you unsolicited things about your kids. Mm-hmm. I know I do. When people come up and say, your son was doing such and such, and he's just such a wonderful kid. Mm-hmm. And I think for Gina, she's just got to have the confidence to raise them now. Mm-hmm. Don't be friends with them now. Mm-hmm. Raise them now. Mm-hmm. And they'll be great human beings that you can be friends with when they're in their 30s.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Our parents were not our friends. They were people who loved us and taught us respect and boundaries and hard work. And I'm not saying this for us, but I'm saying this for people listening, because I think we get this wrong about what our kids need and want. And our kids need and want guidance, respect, love, discipline. None of that. We all got disciplined. But none of that stopped us from loving our parents and revering them, So I want people out there.
For 5 minutes after the ass whoopings, I'd be like, I want him to
that's right. There was always that. I have cursed out my mother underneath my breath on several occasions, but you never did it to their face. No. This notion that I hate my mom. It's like, you better say that in your head, in your room. You don't say that out loud.
I would have caught a chancla right to the top of my forehead. Let's go.
Parents are too afraid to set those kind of boundaries. And I think that's also part of the challenge that we're facing in this generation. We're replacing love and respect with stuff. And I want to be a proponent for reinstating some of the stuff that we had, some of the good old wisdom that our parents had in raising kids. So we have room in the parenting proposition to be a little more like get up, get yourself together, to criticize them, to give them strong guidance, to give them our opinions, to direct them.
And engage with them.
And engage
I have
with
this
them.
Little 2-year-old.
Yeah.
And she's such a gift.
Yeah.
And when I have her on Mondays, or we go to dinner, or I cook for her, it's just me and her. It's Daddy and Axel. And we do I make sure, and she'll say, Dad, come play with me.
Yeah.
And so I go to her room and we'll have a tea party. And, those things, I think creating those memories, for me, that's the most, she brings out the kid in me.
Yeah.
And I think parents need to take more time when you have time to spend with them in that way, and that play with them.
Yeah, that's a great...
To me, everything that Michelle Obama is saying, to me, is a direct contradiction to where this conversation was going. Because I agree with everything that she is saying, but Marlon seems to have given up his opinions or ideologies in regards to what being transgender is, because now he has a transgendered kid. So now he's all on that boat. But here's the thing. I think that you can absolutely fundamentally love to the core someone who's a friend or someone who's in your family. You may not agree with something that you're doing, but you can love them to the core, but still not agree with something that they're doing. And I think that could be a healthy disagreement. Support them any way that they need. Show up for them. But you can still draw the line of boundaries of what's right and what's wrong. Because if not, you just lose structure. You lose tradition for the art of staying poppin' or trending or what's relevant or progressive or modern. Y'all can miss me with that bullshit. It's like you're okay with suspending reality for disbelief, for common sense. At what expense? Let me tell you guys a quick story of what it is that I'm referring to make that make sense, right? Doesn't involve a child like them. I don't have kids currently, but I got a story that I think that'll make it make sense, all right? I pledged fraternity, right? PWI institution. I went to Penn State University, pledged in a historically Black fraternity, the name of which doesn't matter right now, but some of you have actually picked up on it, but pledged a historically Black fraternity, and it was a line of 2, all right? Now, pledged in like 04, and it wasn't until about 09 that my line brother let me know that he was gay. Yes. I had absolutely no idea. I mean, we would be in active conversations about women throughout that entire time. And we went we graduated in like 07, and we went let's say a year of not catching up with one another. And every time that I try to call him, there was always an excuse. It was up to the point I was just like, bro, what's going on? Right? Finally got a hold of him, and he said, man, listen, I got something to tell you. Now, when he told it to me, I could tell that he was frightened when he told me. But when he told me, the first thing I said to him is that, bro, I don't care about none of that. I still love you. I still love you. We still brothers. I ain't involved in that. I ain't part of that lifestyle. You know what I'm saying? And we still joke about it to this day. I mean, so in other words, I can still have love for him irrespective of whatever he chooses within his life. But at the same time, that's not me. Not my life. Don't invite me to go to no gay bars. I don't want whatever you do over there, continue on doing over there. I will support, and I love you to death, especially because of what we've been through together as a team, as a unit. All right? We're going to be there for each other no matter what. All right? It don't make you less of a person because that's the lifestyle that now you choose or your sexuality. But at the same junction, just don't invite me to your shit, all right? So I can have my I can have my rules of engagement. I can have all of these different types of things and remain true within that and choose to have my limits with that component of his life. Nevertheless, guys, drop me your comments down below. What is it that you think about these comments from Michelle Obama as well as Marlon Wayans? Do you agree, disagree with the things that I'm saying or the things that they're saying? Guys, let me know down in the comment box down below. I want to hear from you. All right. Last but not least, guys, join my men's self-development community. Link to it down in the description box down below. Click in, beam up, see all the valuable things that's in store, and I will see you guys relatively soon. Until next time, YouTube. Peace.
She belongs to the street.
Girl, don't hold my hand. You a mattress actress on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do when you get too old to strip and dance? Get up out your echo chamber screaming period and yes. You a low down dirty woman if you try to get knocked up by a high value man.